Hey everyone, so today's video is makeup products I regret buying. Some of them aren't necessarily products I've bought, they might be products I got for my birthday. And yes, I know that they were then gifts, but for me when it came to makeup, to be honest as well, like even though I may regret buying these, it doesn't necessarily mean I won't continue to use them and still use them in videos and stuff. It's more that like if I could choose now I wouldn't buy them. First item is the Urban Decay Naked Skin One and Done foundation. I did use this in my full face of high-end makeup, which I will leave up here, and I don't necessarily dislike this foundation. For one, the shade range was awful. I'm sure that only had like, I would say it had less than 5 shades. I honestly can't remember. This is in light and it's not light, and it just doesn't have great coverage. If you have great skin, then this is probably gonna be really good for you. If I'm gonna buy high makeup, I want it to be worth it. So, and I didn't feel like this was. So the next thing I regret buying is the e.l.f. What is this? It's the concealer. I don't know what concealer it is. Like, it doesn't have a name on it. I got it in Fair. I didn't like this. I found they gave me no coverage. I can't remember if I didn't use it under my eyes. I bought it to use like on blemishes. I just didn't feel like it had any coverage. It felt like I was just putting it on and it was wiping off. Even yes, I used a sponge, but like still a sponge should be fine. The colour wasn't like awful or nothing. It was one of those ones where when I like tested it, it looks like it's going to be great coverage when you like blend it out. But once I put it on top of like foundation, I just didn't feel like it worked. But it is cheap, so you know. I really want to try the Collection Lasting Perfection, because haven't they changed their packaging and made it all pretty and stuff? So for powder, I have the Max Factor just translucent professional loose powder. I think that's what it's called. I don't like this. For me it was the colour. It's translucent, and to me this ain't translucent. I mean, you can already see from that, but to me this is like ivory or porcelain or something. That's what you would name that. When I put it on my hand, it seems actually quite light. Bear in mind I've got a little bit of tan on. I think if I didn't have any tan on, this would just be, it would just go so like, and also I just didn't like the packaging. For me it was just too bulky. But we're going to try and speed through this because my camera's flashing. The next thing I've got is the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Cushion de Soleil Fresh Glow Bronzer. I had the foundation of this as well, the foundation version. I just didn't like this because of what it is. It's literally like a sponge, and then it's like, you do that and it's like a cushion bronzer. And to me, I'm like, when am I going to use that? It just seems a bit messy, you know. I'm going to use my bronzer with a brush. I guess I could, you could put this as a brush in this and then blend it out. And I just think it's a waste of money because I've literally just bought it and it stayed in my drawer because I've barely tried it. I think I tried it once, I just didn't really like it. I guess it would maybe be good if, say you weren't wearing makeup like foundation, you just had a bit of concealer on and you just wanted to put a bit of like bronzer on really naturally. I guess you could get a brush and just really lightly buff this into your skin. So I'm sure it would work for some people. And then for blush, I have the L'Oreal Blush Sculpt Trio Contour in Nude Beige. I personally just don't really like this. Me with a blush, I would rather a blush just be one colour. But this one, I don't really love the colour. And I just don't really get it. Like, I've made a bit of a mess of it. But what's with the weird line in the middle one? Do you know what I mean? Like, even if these aren't colours I like, they're too, it's like way too like orangey for me, like the tone of it. But it's not even that, it's just I don't get it. It's a blush, but then it's got like a highlight shade, which fair enough, but then it says apply individually for sophisticated result. Like, in what world can you get a brush that size for blush? I don't quite understand the logic behind this, and I just feel like they didn't have a big range of colour either. Like, you saw it's a bit messy. Like, you can't swirl anything anywhere without making a mess in this little palette thing. So that's why I don't really like this. The next thing I have is also L'Oreal. We've just had 3 L'Oreal products in a row. And this is their, I ain't gonna pronounce that. Now, this I need to test out more. But from what I've tested of it, I didn't love it. I still want to try and use it in videos because I'm sure I can get some use out of it. But I would like swatch this on my hands and I would think incredible. So if I swatch this like pale one, it's not even incredible to be fair. But there it is there. But it's not amazing. And I feel like if you do that, it just disappears. But when I tried it with a brush, I felt like nothing came off. Which, that's definitely kind of frustrating because like, you're getting 4, they're all actually really pretty colours and I definitely could use all of them. Maybe not the deepest one, but like still it's not actually that deep. I also can't remember if like there was other shades of this, because obviously this is very pale, so shade range is not great, but I don't know if there was a few or if it was just this one. Oh no, it says 02, so there might have been a darker one. I'm just not a fan. I never reach for it. Going back to bronzer, because I fully forgot, is this Saint-Tropez Sculpt Bronze and Highlight the Face and Body with our 3-in-1 bronzer powder. I regret buying this 110%. This is quite a recent purchase. It was like £12. If you go to my, I think it was either my Full Face High End, which I've already put up there, or it was my Tested like New Makeup. I don't know which one it was in. I think it was in the Tested New Makeup. And I just couldn't stand it. I didn't like it. It just didn't feel like it was giving off any pigment for me. Like for the price, I would expect this to have a lot more pigmentation. You know, like Revolution gets more pigmentation than this, and it's triple the price. And it says you're meant to swirl them round, which then sort of makes it messy like that. I don't know if you can see, but like it's just not, the colour's just off. I don't know, I don't like it. And also like this is their only one. I would not recommend this unless like you want an extremely natural bronze, but like it didn't even give me anything like this. It was very expensive for what it is. Next, onto brows. Now this one is like, it's not I didn't like the product. I like the product, I just regret buying it because I wish I'd got a different one. So this is the Benefit Brow Contour Pro, and it has like the little clicky things. Now I like this but I don't. I'm sort of in like, so you get 2 brow colours, which don't get me wrong, that's really cool. And the price of this I think is similar to like the Precisely My Brow, and I did really love the fact you got the definer. Like I used that a lot. The highlighter not much, I didn't really use, but the definer I loved. What I found with this is I felt like the 2 pencils ran out so much quicker than like Precisely My Brow does, and I thought when I googled it, it had less product. I mean, it had the same amount of product. This just felt like I just got through it so quick, and there's 2 colours as well. Even though this is really cool and I really wanted it and I'm really happy I got it, I wouldn't buy it again. I'd rather just buy Precise My Brow. You do get 4 things, so I will admit that's nice. And it probably is really handy if you're like travelling. The next thing I have, which is more, all of this is personal preference, like everyone's gonna like different things. You know, from something that I don't like, someone else it could be literally their like holy grail. But this is the Revolution Pro Volume and Sculpt Brow Gel. This is in ash brown, so for one it's too light anyway. I just don't know why. I just didn't like this. It's the formula. I just found it a bit, I just prefer Benefit brow gels, like my 3D brow tones or my what's it called? Gimme Brow. I feel like they give you colour but without being too much, whereas I feel like this just has so much pigmentation to it. And like you can see it on the brush. The brush is like the brush is just like covered, which is fine, but I just feel like it's kind of messy. So for me personally, I'm not a fan, but I can understand why people would like it. But and it is really small, like Gimme Brow. It has just it's too messy. It has too much like product, because it would be a really, really good dupe for Gimme Brow. I just realised there's 2 specific brands throughout this whole video, L'Oreal and Urban Decay. For eyeshadow palettes, I've got the Urban Decay Naked Smoky. Only reason why I regret buying this is just because I never use it. The colours just, I don't know why I wanted it in the first place, because the colours just aren't me. It's just, to me, I look at this and I'm not like, wow, this is so pretty. The packaging, 100%. But the actual palette, I'm just a bit like, if you love a smoky eye, then yeah, you'd love this. The one thing I do like about this palette is they have a few more deep mattes, which a lot of their palettes don't. Okay, we've got to kind of be quick because the camera just died. I've charged it for like 5 minutes and now it's still flashing. But as I was saying, a lot of these are very, very cool toned, which I just don't lean towards. And yeah, honestly, the palette's probably amazing if you like the colours, but personally, like grey, smoky eyes, I don't really do. Like I said, I don't know why I got the palette, because it's literally called Naked Smoky. Next is the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. Now this palette is stunning. Like, it just looks so high-end. It looks beautiful. The reason why I just don't like it is, being brutally honest, I just think it looks boring. It just doesn't excite me. Like, I don't look at that, I think, oh, so many, the mirror's so dirty. I don't look at that and think, oh, there's so many looks I can make from that. Especially this section. There's just not much happening. I mean, yeah, these are quite unique, don't get me wrong. So like, I do like this bottom row, but I just think the rest of it, and like Punk's quite nice, to be fair. And the colour, like Steady is nice, like the colours are nice. But I just don't Like, this is more expensive I think than a normal Urban Decay palette. Urban Decay palettes are like 34. I think this is like 40, and I wouldn't want to pay that for this. I think it's just, I just don't feel like there's many looks you can make with this palette, you know what I mean? I love the mirror though. Mirror is insane, just massive mirror. And then the last two things are lipsticks. So the first one is the Revlon. It's not this specific lipstick, it's just when I went to Lapland in 2017, 2016, I think. On the plane on the way home, I bought this box of Revlon lipsticks, and they were like a pack of like a box of 9. I regret buying them just because the majority of those lipsticks are pearl lipsticks, which I don't really go for. I normally like mattes, or now I more like creams, and more like glosses. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of pearl lipsticks. I mean, this isn't exactly, my mum would love this colour actually. It looks a lot brighter on camera, it's a lot more brown in person, and it's just the shimmer in it. I'm really not a fan, and I didn't know that they're mainly pearl lipsticks when I bought them until I actually got the box. So that's why I regret buying them, not because there's anything wrong with the formula, it's just because they're all pearls and I'm just not a fan of that. But I think Revlon lipsticks as a whole are pretty good. And then the final thing this is sort of like a 50-50. It's like I don't fully regret it, but like kind of do, because at the time I wore it quite a lot, but now I just don't. And that is MAC Stone. I loved this. Look at this colour. But like, it's actually, I don't know why, but on camera it just comes up so much more brown. Let me swatch it. It looks so much warmer on my skin than it does on my lips. But it just, when it's on your lips, it's very cool stone coloured, and I loved it when I bought it when I was like 16. But now I don't think I'd much prefer pinks, like dusty pinks. I don't think I'd really ever wear this that much anymore, and that's basically my only reason why I really regret buying it, is because it's just not really a colour I go for. So I'm gonna have to be really quick because the camera's died again. That was the final product. So I know this was probably a bit of a random video, a bit all over the place, but I just thought I'd show you products that I regret buying. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, like and comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!